All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris here, Better Investing. Today is Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Another red day in the market. Let's talk about it. For me, I traded this morning, made some coins, and had to step away for work. Um, so I'm literally just getting home maybe 25 minutes ago. So I'm kind of really watching the market or looking at the market as it's closed now to kind of see what happened, like how much damage was done. But I do want to start off with this. 'Cause I was having these conversations earlier um, with some of my friends, colleagues, to kind of talk about like what are we currently seeing. I want to probably bring this back up. So I used to be a big enthusiast of Bitcoin in terms of like, yes, it's probably digital. It could be digital gold, and I want to say that perhaps that still is the case, and maybe the supply needs to really tighten up to kind of show that correlation. But I want to say that Bitcoin had its opportunity to be digital gold, back in 2022. And what I'm going to show you, and the reason why I'm saying that is because, in 2022, while the market was down, that year, Bitcoin was also down, right? If you kind of think of this like, well, is Bitcoin a risk off asset, or is it digital gold? Well, why was it down 63% that year? While we look at gold, for example, gold that particular year was flat and was down 0.35%, right? Really acting as that hedge to, I would say, inflation. I wouldn't say like a risk off, but maybe risk off, right? Because I don't know if you want to really classify gold as risk off, but I would say it's risk off, right? Because it's like taking money out of equities and put it in, to something that's, I don't know what we want to call it, metals, right? Yeah, it's kind of like risk off. And at the same time, like if we go look at SPY that year, in 2022, SPY was down, 19%. So that difference really is what threw me off with Bitcoin and it being digital gold, because it had its opportunity to show that it was digital gold in 2022 and it didn't. And I guess what I'm getting at is that since it wasn't able to kind of showcase that it was that digital gold, I kind of look at Bitcoin as being a risk on asset, pretty much. That's it. Like when institutions, banks, traders, anyone who wants more leverage to risk on assets and don't want to have to go out there and buy Nvidia and buy Apple, or they want more leverage overall, like I want something that's probably going to 2x while the market 1x type of thing. While the market goes up 10%, this is going to go up 30%. They go to Bitcoin. And I think you can kind of use Bitcoin as a barometer now, as in terms of like gauging whether we're risk on or risk off. And I want to say that I'm starting to see some signs of risk off. So what I'm showing you right here is the comparison of the TLT to Bitcoin. And what we're looking at is how they both performed over the same period of time. And I want to say that when you think about the TLT, which is a 20-year bond, that's definitely a risk-off asset, right? People are getting into longer duration bonds, right? They're trying to just capitalize on that longer term. Hey, I'll make 5%, whatever. Right? I'm not no bond expert or anything, but you start to see like, okay, are they rotating in shit like bonds? What are some of the defensive sectors doing? And you kind of see this here when you look at Bitcoin and you look at TLT, right? TLT was, $100 or so dollars, we should say, right? And what was that? Back in what's that, September. And you can kind of see like, yeah, it trended lower, right? Saying showing you that okay, the market is risk on, right? And at the same time, we can see here it doesn't line up exactly, but Bitcoin rallies. Now we can see here where TLT rallying, we can see on Bitcoin, kind of after we can kind of say, okay, this is probably the short-term bottom on TLT. Now we're starting to see Bitcoin crack, and I say that because it's giving signs of risk off, and when the market is risk off, there's a lot more. It's probably, I'm not 100% sure, but it's probably more volatility And you'll see some rotation out of some stocks, some sectors, going into other sectors. So while I'm here, let me just pull up my scanner, right? So I have an EMA scanner. We can kind of use this as a like a gauge of like how many stocks are above and below their EMA. So stocks above and below their 9 and 20 EMA, based on stocks trading above their 50-day. I mean stocks that have a market cap of 500, have an average volume of 1 million. We got 194 stocks right now that are trading above their EMA 9 and 20. Now, let's look at the sectors that it's showing. Right, so when I look at these sectors, communications, all right, consumer durables, right, and you look at these: Philip Morrison, Tyson Foods, Clorox. Like, if you look at like what's out here and like what's really above the EMA 9 and 20, healthcare. It's not really your technology stocks and things that you would expect, like your semiconductors, right? Doing a risk on type of environment, right? We got Dollar General, like fucking Dollar General is up. Well, it didn't do much today, but it's actually been outperforming the market lately. So like when you see that, it's kind of has me questioning, overall, like, are we in a risk on or risk off asset? So 194 stocks are, above their. Oh, hold on. This is counting for VWAP, so let's take that off. Let's go to the daily and apply. All right, so right now we got 200 or so stocks that are above their EMA 9 and 20 or 10 and 20, right? That's what I have on here. I probably need to change that. And let's go to how many stocks are below their EMA 9 and 20 or 10 and 20. All right, we got 340 stocks that are below their EMA 10 and 20. And I'm probably reaching here, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that we see what's like down, like your electronics, your technology. A lot of technology is on this list, and again, it's just showing that potentially that we're probably risk on. That's kind of what I see. I mean, risk off. But I can be 100% wrong. We do have Nvidia reporting tomorrow, so let's see what the market got for us tomorrow. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of point that out. All right, took that out, got that out of the way. All right, let's look at SPY real fast. What happened on SPY today? So stairs up, escalator down, or stairs up, elevator down type of thing. Right, we took the stairs all the way up to new time high, sold off continuously on 3 days, elevated volume. Right, this little blue line I have here is the 20 period moving average on the volume. And you can see we've been selling off on higher volume. We did kind of come into like this potential gap spot back here from early January that we kind of tapped off of. Didn't really have a location really to kind of think of. I think I was watching like 590, and I see here the low was 590, 589.56. So if I go to like a 65 minute, let's see, what was we pulling that from? Right, it's kind of like back here. Okay, so we kind of held this February pre-market area. I'm really not sure if that's a big area to really be watching, but it looks like yeah, that kind of lines up. Excuse me. Yeah, that kind of lines up to like kind of like this area here from back in January, early mid-January. We kind of see those wicks there. We kind of got brought up, right? So that's the question: are we getting brought up again, right here at these locations? So let's take a little deeper dive. Let's go and look at regular hours, and let's go here and look at a 4-hour time frame. Do we have any trends we should be worried about? I want to say there's no trend that I've seen. Probably need to let me do this. Let me knock out all of these off my 4-hour chart. All right, do that. So let's do this. Can I do this? Nope, not gonna let me do that. Can I do this? All right, it's not gonna let me do that. All right, I might need to do this a little bit later. But I think what I was trying to show here was that, okay, this is the bottom from August. Let's see what we got here. Trying to see, do we have anything? No, I think I want to say it was probably on SPX then, where I kind of noticed like that little trend line break. So let me pull up XPX real fast. Let's go to the 4 hour and let's see what we got here. So we're looking here at the 4 hour, and I'm getting blurry eye looking at all these damn indicators. So let me turn off all my indicators. Let's just keep the line up. So we did have a potential trend line somewhat from, I don't know how far this goes back. Okay. Yeah, we do kind of have like this little potential trend line back here from the 2023 bottom that we kind of breached. But I'm not too sure if I want to put too much emphasis on that because although right the trend has broken, it just means that that trend has broken. It doesn't mean that we can reset and trend higher. Um, but it was interesting to kind of see that we did kind of breach that particular trend today. And there's probably some people that's looking at that and trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So, but yeah, let's go back to SPY over here and let's just kind of look at like what happened today. Because again, this is literally my first real observation of what ended up happening today. So what happened today? Towards, yeah. So we got bid up off that 590 spot. Um, I still have this little 10 minute area kind of marked out from yesterday. Looked like we came into 594.65. Trying to see like where that peeled back from. That was like this little higher low here off of the early beginning of the year. We never seen that location again. Then we made new all time highs. And you kind of see we kind of sat right there and rejected that. So I'm not too sure if I was consider that a strong point of resistance or anything, but you could probably potentially trade off it off a smaller time frame. Um, not too bad of a defense here, but let's kind of look at a 65 minute and yeah, I mean not the best candle action you expect off this bounce. Kind of a doji look here, right? Doesn't really show like the buyers took control. This looks more of a short term bounce to me, if anything. I think us being back below a 9 and a 20 that's crossing over in the 50. It's kind of hard to say if you're a trend follower, you're looking to really bounce this unless you're looking for like a one of those dead cat bounces or potentially a reverse. Let's go here and look at the weekly, like where we're at on the weekly. Okay, so we did tap into the EMA 20 on the weekly. Got bought up. EMAs are looking like they're ready to cross over, but they have not crossed over as such. I think from a longer term perspective, it would make sense to probably still be bullish, for a longer term. So, I mean, if you're a weekly player or weekly um, type of chartist, you trade off the weekly. I mean, you're still thinking that we can go higher, or at least the trend is still intact. All right, so that takes care of that. Let's look at QQQ real fast. QQQ, what did we get on QQQ today? So, all right, QQQ, if this is going to load up anytime soon, probably need to restart my computer. All right, so yesterday, we kind of felled up here. Looked like we came back into this spot right back here. I mean, again, if you have levels to watch on the market, it's pretty good to watch. You kind of see back here from beginning of the month, right? That's that area right here on the 65. We kind of held that spot right there. All right, you kind of see like where we kind of held at this 511. So we do breach 511. We do have a gap here on the hourly that we can probably fill out. So let's do that. Pay attention to that, and you probably need to pull that from here. Probably down to right there. So it is a gap right here on the hourly. I'm not too sure if that shows up on the daily. But we're going to plug in that bull gap right here, and we're going to just leave it right there on the hourly for the most part. We still haven't filled that entire election gap on Q, so that would be interesting to see if we do that. If we do that. I don't know how that sounds. But, yeah, not really a big bounce here. I mean, I don't know if I would have looked at this like a real bounce. I mean, from 511 to 514. Nothing really strong to show. Okay, we're back on, but we are into a level to probably watch. But again, below the 9, below the 20, below the EMA, below the SMA 50, it just doesn't look good. Looking at VIX, VIX perking up. VIX is perking up, right? It's not fading off like it was doing previously. Like the last couple of times we kind of popped and we had a crazy VIX. Let's go back. like back here in August, right? We had like a 2 day crazy VIX move, right? Faded down. We had a 2 day VIX move back here early September, right? We never really had any continuation on VIX moving higher, and we're starting to see that volatility priced in. And those fucking contracts were not cheap today. Even and I stayed about 20 points out the money. Them boys were still about $800, man. Them things were expensive today. So I mean that's kind of the thing you got to remember when VIX is higher. Those contracts are gonna be much higher as well. So I mean VIX still perking up. It did kind of fade off a little bit. Looks like probably towards the end of the day or something. But higher highs and higher lows is definitely what we're seeing here. I think 30 or so. You probably want to look at some stocks to buy, and when your longer term portfolios. Um, that takes care of that. Let's go look at IWM. IWM, we have what we got on IWM, folks. Okay, now continuing down, no support at the SMA 50. We are kind of getting brought up here again. I think for me, I want to see what happens over here at this 200 spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that out. I want to see this 200 spot probably lines up with the 50 weekly. The 50 weekly moving average. So I just want to see real fast where the 50 weekly moving average is sitting at. The 50 weekly. Nope, actually we're sitting right here on the 50 weekly. That would be like the 200 weekly, and where you can kind of see, we did kind of get brought up off of those average from above. Right here and here. Right. So we're going to defend this area and kind of still say, well, we're making higher lows. I mean, that would be a good spot, probably right into that 200 psych spot. Not too sure. This probably curls down a little bit more as price action follows. But it's probably interesting to kind of still watch that spot. All right, that takes care of that. I'm never even gonna look at DIA or anything like that. But let's go see real fast sectors. What was up? We had home builders up today, 2%. This is consumer staples, right? So what I was mentioning earlier, and healthcare, right? It's just it's giving signs of risk off. Let's go take a look at some stocks. Rocket Lab still getting clapped. Again, it's just one of those scenarios where it's such a big move that it's just there's no buyers really going to come step in really, and everyone's trying to get out that same door, and it's almost like limit down. Yeah, just nasty across the board. Even with some of these growth stocks, ACHR, AEHR, that's why I said I was a little concerned with buying those because I've seen some of those. I think there were 10Ks where that come through, and they were like mentioning, hey, we're going to have a potential offer. We're just letting you guys be aware, or they were just dropping offerings and shit. Like these companies were selling into strength, honestly, and I think it was pretty obvious there. And I was like, I'm not really interested in these growth stocks. Definitely ones that really haven't made a lot of money. I mean, I think Rocket Lab's probably making some money, but I mean, in terms of profitability, debt to cash, I mean, it's damn near even. And if we go look at, again, I like to look at the income statement. I like to look at the annual, and I like to see net income. Right? Not even things not even making money yet. It's not even profitable. It's not even near profitability. So stocks like that, you just got to be careful. They can reset hard because it's just from a fundamental perspective, who wants to buy that, right? You got two type of traders. You got your investor traders, right? They're investors, but they're traders at the end of the day. We're all traders. We try to buy something and sell it at a higher price. So you have your investors, and you have your just your regular technical traders, or should I say fundamental traders, and you have your technical traders. Fundamentally they're probably not looking to buy this, and this could probably go a bit low, go much lower. So let me go take a look at some of those growth stocks. Let's go look at like Serve down. I mentioned this, like Serve. Like there's no reason to try to buy this because it doesn't have no money. They don't make any money. I mean, it is sitting here at the 200. I mean, from a technical spot, you might want to look there, but you're not risking much, missing about 50 cents or so if it does break like this high. Like probably risking more than that. But yeah, from like a fundamental perspective, they're not looking to buy that. That's just my thought process. Let's go check out. Oh, my baby, they reported earnings. Hold up. Where you at? Come on. 460. Ah, I'm still watching this. Ah, if I promised you, if the market was doing well, this thing would have ripped $6 or this five. This it would have ripped this area. It would have ripped this area. I mean, talk about 20%. I've been watching this stock for so long. Like if the market was doing well, like this probably rips right through here. Ah, had to happen when the market's down, man. That sucks. Had to happen when the market's down. Yeah, it's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard. I can't even look at it. I'm not even look at it. That sucks. All right. PLTR. Let's see. I was talking about PLTR. Really, I was not expecting it to hit this spot already, but golly, it did. So it's this is probably a trader's bounce. It's kind of like what I want to look at it as. Um, if the 65-minute ever decides to pop up, all right, there it is. Right, from a 65-minute perspective, this previous breakout spot, you kind of see we didn't really tag it for the most part. It's really like this 84, 85, and like the low here was like 85, 25. So we kind of tagged it, but not too much of a bounce. But I can see there's probably like some people are trying to trade this and say I'll just set a $3 stop, see if I can get this joker to move back higher. Um, but yeah, that's really about it. I mean, I don't have a need to really go through a lot. Some of my stocks are getting smoked now. Like Grab, I'm out of AMD, like I mentioned. I'm out of CLF, like I mentioned. Still in Mobileye, still in Moderna, still in Uber. Got out of VSTs, back where I bought it at. So and I sold that's 160 something. Tesla. Yeah. People keep trying to bounce this. I just don't see a reason why. Like, I'm saying that not to sound like an asshole, but I remember where like I would try the short stocks that were going up and get fucking smacked, get smacked around. And then I got a little more picky with the type of stocks I want to short that were up, like showing overextension and stuff like that. I mean, this thing is below the EMA 9 to 20 and coming into the 200. I mean, that's really like the last bull defense here as well as this election gap. Then you have this earnings gap back here. But I mean, this really hasn't shown you any reason to get long from a daily perspective, and it hasn't showed you any reason to get long from a weekly perspective. It's literally like if you shorted it up here, it's literally if you're just following price action, there's no reason to get out. Hasn't broken the previous high for the last, since January 21st. Hasn't broken, right? Oh, okay, you would have got out right here, right? Because it finally broke and it made a higher high, or yeah, broke this previous lower high, right? So right here, but it's still making lower lows, and yeah, still making lower lows along the way, for the most part. So I mean, yeah, I think like probably 270. You kind of see like I have levels kind of marked out. It's kind of like where the 50 week lines up at, the 200 weekly lines up at. I mean, that'll be a nice reset on Tesla, and if I can shut his fucking mouth, that'd be even better. Let's go look at some of the mag stocks, I guess. Apple holding up well. Shit ton of money. Uh, don't really see any setups on Apple. I don't know why. Apple's been holding relatively strong. Maybe they have some news to announce, but we haven't really done much for the most part. We're still kind of sitting around here from I like to call it a power candle, or this is like your earnings reaction candle. Um, right, just a big huge candle that sticks out on the chart, and you're kind of just sitting there not doing much. Um, Amazon, I was wanted to see Amazon, see what it did. Oh man, damn near came into 200 today. And I said like watch this 200 spot. Nice wick up off this 200. Buyers definitely stepped down. I wonder if Amazon had any news. I don't see any news because I'm not too sure here, but damn, yeah, kind of filled this gap so we can get rid of that. Get rid of that gap, right? Less clutter on my chart. I don't think I want to keep this trend line. I don't think I want to keep this either. I probably do. But yeah, that was that was a nice buy up. But I mean, how do you get long now? This really does invalidates here. So maybe you gotta look at this like on a lower time frame, like a 65-minute. Look for that higher low. But it is below the 50. EMA 9, EMA 20 on the daily. So, yeah, I mean, you could probably play like a little reversal. You never know, right? Ship turns around, right? You got a winner in your hands. You know, you might have a couple months where you can hold that. Um, Meta, like I said, it was 20 days up. It's probably 20 days down. I mean, that's the type of weird market we're in right now. Let's see here what happened on the daily. Okay, came into the 50, kind of got brought up. This is kind of that breakout spot. Almost breakout spot, but kind of brought up, put in a hammer, sorta. I guess you want to call it, but this many days up, this many days down. I don't know what you want to do with that. Microsoft, as I mentioned, the new IBM. I just don't see anything to really do here on this chop. And look at the moving averages. The moving averages tell you it's chop, and it tell you how stressful it's been to take this as a trend trade. It just hasn't really trend much, and it hasn't made a new high since July. So you're not really gonna hear me speak about much about Microsoft until like the story really changes. Nvidia, no reason to look at that. They got earnings tomorrow. And honestly, it's no reason for me to even look at much because I'm probably not going to see any setups unless I'm looking for like some capitulation type of move. I mean, that's probably all you can probably look for is that type of capitulation, and then we get a bounce, and hopefully it kind of it turns around and actually bees like the bottom. But besides that, I'll probably just stick to day trading. Again, I'm really looking into like starting like to try to swing trade because I will be in and out of the markets with like what I do for work. I work where there's no windows. There's no windows and there's no internet, so I can't even manage my position if I wanted to. Um, and I have to walk like probably like a mile to get like service. Um, but yeah. Um, like fucking advanced auto parts, 7% today. Do they have earnings or something? No earnings. People are buying advanced auto parts. Yeah, you just see stupid shit like that. Kava down after markets, they just had earnings. I'm just going to kind of do like my broad list of like stocks I like to watch. Um, PHM, okay. Kind of turning around. Could be a short. Let me see. Nope, not touching it. I was 0 for 3 on trading PMH and I left it alone. God damn, Lemonade. You do have earnings? It's hard to touch these fucking. It's not down. Not. Oh, okay. There you go. Now it kicks in. 28. Do y'all make money? I do make money, but y'all don't have no cash? Like, what the fuck? Oh no. Y'all don't ever make no money. Yeah, those are tough stocks to trade. Instacart. I've been trying to figure out if I wanted to buy Instacart long term, but I probably need to wait like $20 or so because I use Instacart. I do think it's a good app. But I guess the question is like, do they have like a moat? Like, are they not, can someone copycat them and and do the same thing? That's really the question. I'm just looking. It looks like we have some earnings that came out. So I'm just checking the market. See, we got FSLR. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, all right. So now we got FSLR. Look like they have some earnings. Not too much of a reaction. But let's go check. I meant to check out TLT. I mean, the that was right there. This circle I got. That's like the 200 weekly as well. Um, all right. So where's my market indicators? All right. So you're looking at the 2 year. Okay, I would say it's starting to roll over. Um, yeah, it's giving those signs. 10 year. Okay, okay, yeah, starting to roll over. I mean, trying to again. I don't. I'm not no big 2 10 year guy. But I want to say like when these roll over, I mean, the market should like that. I mean, that's my thought process. Like when the 2 year and the 10 year yields drop, I mean, the market oftenly goes up. I mean, that's lower yields means like easier financial conditions. So, perhaps maybe the market's looking at maybe they're looking at a Fed pivot. But at the same time, maybe there's some recession expectations that's seeping into the market. So just yeah, I don't know about. I just don't really know. I really don't. Then again, I'm not gonna act like I'm this know-it-all guy. Um, Lucid. Yeah. Yo, this might be a long-term buy, man. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. It's a former SPAC. Okay, they got a little bit of money. 2 billion in debt. I ain't gotta look at it. SMCI reports today. Okay, so I did take a trade on SMCI. Honestly, I probably could have held this, but again, I had to step away at 10:30, so I was more just like, let's make some money and let's move on about our day. I caught it right here on the rejack of the 50 and this $50 location. And again, early in the morning, it's 2 minutes in. It's early in the morning. Sometimes I just kind of like to play things like that. Hold on, was this today? It's Tuesday. Yeah, I probably had to be like this candle here, or no, I had to be like this candle then. Looked like it was rejecting off the 50. I mean, off that $50 location. That's what it looked like at the time. Hold on. And those contracts were expensive. I bought them at like 540, sold them at like 620, and I think I had a break even stop like $30 above my stop. Oh, I think I tried it, got stopped out. Then I tried it, it didn't work. That's what it was. All right, let's talk about spiral fast. Let me see. Is there anything that I could have potentially traded based on like how I like to trade? Um, just looking here real fast. No, market opened up down here. ADD rolling off. Advanced decline line. Was rolling off, and you had SPY. VIX breaking highs. Um, I took a little scalp. Made like $180 on that one contract. Everything else was just mostly scalps. I think this line throws me off, and I want to say that's because it's probably like a trend line or something. But this was like right before 10 o'clock when we had news, so I wasn't too sure if I wanted to take that. I probably took like just like a continuation break. I'm not sure. Just using the Eternals as like, okay, we can probably go lower. Um, but yeah. Besides that, it looks like what we got. So got a little tick alert here around like around what time is this? Oh, around like 11:30. Got a tick alert that lines up right here for the bottom of the day. And again, like sometimes like when you get those tick alerts, it doesn't mean like oh you go long. It just means that you probably shouldn't be like pressing shorts here. Um, it's kind of my thought process. So when we got that tick alert around like 11:30, we kind of see the advanced decline line, kind of bottom out as well, and we kind of see a little bit of topping process here on the VIX as well around that time, around 11:30, right? Um, this is a 15-minute chart, so maybe it's this candle here, right? A little blow off, right? This open here, closed at here. Where close that? Oh, closed here. Kind of like a little blow off top towards the end of like this candle here. So when I say blow off top, I'm trying to think like now, cause like yesterday, like why didn't I consider this a blow off top? I don't know. Maybe it is a blow off top. I mean, this looks. I like these candles. I want to say the last time I played like a blow off top on the VIX, it looked like that, and it was like in the middle of the range as well, not early in the day. But yeah, a little blow off towards right there. That blow off was kind of around the same time, and then we started to trend higher. Um, and these tick alerts here, 2 o'clock. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I don't know if I would. I probably would have tried to play this. That tick alert is coming right there at around like the. Yeah, I probably would have lost on the. I probably would have lost on trades if I took this. You got extreme tick coming in right there. Um, ADD is kind of pointing down as well around that same time. But I would say it's not holding here. I will kind of like want to see that hold. Um, or maybe I would have been in a little bit earlier. I don't. What the hell is this line? Take this line off because it's killing me. Um, mm, not too sure. It is later in the day, but we never made new lows on VIX until later in the day, around like 11 o'clock. I mean around like 3:30, and you don't want to play tick alerts that late. But this is like your first tick alert of the day, right here. It kind of correspond again with the lows of the day. Um, now how do you play that? For me, you hit the first higher low. Boom, boom, right here. You just get in right here, stop right here, type of thing. And this was shit. That was a fucking move. One, like 59.20 all the way up to 59.45. Now the way I trade, I would probably want to capture that, but I would have probably got a couple $100 on each of those contracts I would have traded. Damn. Yeah, first tick alert, right? Get your first extreme tick alert of the day. Hmm. Think for like these secondary I don't know if I want to play these if the advanced decline line is still trending up. Like, 'cause at the end of the day, like, and I kind of use the moving averages to kind of gauge like how strong the trend is, but it is trending up. So I'm not too sure if I would have played this, but I want to just make note that I probably shouldn't be playing these because everything's not lining up. Like compared it to like what we had here. I don't know if we got a tick alert, but you know how clean that is. So if you get a clean action like this and everything else is lining up and it's trending down, then perhaps you can play that. But all right, man, that's it for me. I need to take a break. My daughter got swim class tonight, so I need to get ready. Peace. God bless.